So, have you been following the latest on the trade tensions between the US and Europe?
Yeah,
It's really ramping up, isn't it?
absolutely. It's like every day there's something new. What's your take on how it's affecting Europe?
Well, it's interesting. European CEOs seem really worried,
Right.
you know? They're not just concerned about tariffs, but about Trump's whole approach.
Yeah, unpredictability can be a real issue. Businesses
Exactly.
hate uncertainty.
Exactly. It's like poison for planning an investment.
Yeah,
They need stability to make long-term decisions.
so it's not just the CEOs, right? Leaders are concerned too. Who's been
Definitely.
speaking out?
Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, has actually warned about a race to the bottom in trade. That's
Wow.
pretty serious language.
A race to the bottom? What does
Yeah.
she mean by that exactly?
Well, it's when countries compete by lowering standards, you know?
Right.
Like cutting labor costs and environmental protections to attract businesses.
Oh, I see. So it's like undercutting each other at the expense of workers and the environment. That could be
Exactly.
really damaging in the long run.
Exactly. Europe wants to avoid that scenario. They're trying to find a balance in their response.
So how are they approaching it? What's their
Well-
strategy here?
They're kind of playing it both ways.
Yeah,
On one hand, they're importing more American goods, like natural gas and defense equipment.
so like a peace offering to the US?
Exactly.
But on the other hand, they're preparing retaliatory tariffs.
Exactly. They're showing they're willing to negotiate, but also stand firm if needed.
Right.
It's a delicate balance to maintain.
It's smart but risky. Any word
Yeah.
from other European leaders?
Christine Lagarde, head of the European Central Bank, had some interesting comments.
Oh,
She emphasized negotiating rather than retaliating.
that's an interesting stance. Did she suggest any specific actions?
She actually suggested that buying more American goods could help ease tensions.
Really?
That's a bold move.
It could be effective, but isn't there a downside?
Exactly.
Becoming too reliant on one country can be risky.
Right, it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. If something goes
Exactly.
wrong, you're vulnerable.
So they're trying to diversify while appeasing the US? It's a
Yeah.
tricky line to walk.
Definitely. European leaders are cautiously optimistic, hoping for sensible negotiations. But it's hard to predict how things will pan out.
Yeah, especially with the unpredictability of current US policies.
Exactly.
It adds another layer of complexity.
So what does a good outcome look like here? Any
Well-
thoughts on that?
I guess a deal where both sides feel like they've won something.
Yeah.
Some compromise on tariffs and trade barriers.
And maybe agreements on other issues like intellectual property and market access.
Right.
It's more than just about tariffs.
Exactly. It's a complex web of issues. Trade, regulations, politics, all intertwined.
And meanwhile, consumers and businesses are caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Prices go up, supply chains get disrupted.
It's a reminder of how interconnected the global economy is.
Absolutely.
What happens between governments affects us all.
So staying informed is key.
Definitely.
Knowledge helps us navigate these uncertain times.
And maybe even advocate for policies that make sense.
Exactly.
Every voice counts in shaping the outcome.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Yeah,
Let's keep an eye on it.
absolutely. Thanks for the insightful chat. Always
Anytime.
great to dive deep into these topics.